can you just break down that Deribit gamma exposure chart a little bit and where traders are positioned?
Yep. So really the GEX or the gamma exposure, this is the dealer inventory of traders on Deribit. And so what we do here is we look at every single trade in the options market from the beginning of the contract being listed. And what we can see here is like who paid the spread and how did the best bid and best ask refresh and how did open interest update, so on and so forth. And we get a good idea of who's the initiator or the aggressor of each trade. And then we assume market makers are passive and hedging in the underlying. So what we can see here is that the aggressors are net long the 75K strikes and dealers are net short that 75K strike. So aggressors or the street is essentially sort of buying optionality if Bitcoin can break through 75. And then the other big level is kind of that 60K level. This is the February low. And then traders have bought some downside protection there if we break below the 60K level as well. So to me, this is telling us that traders or the street is paying attention to these support resistance levels. Those are significant. And then kind of when we're within that sort of price range, everyone's kind of selling vol within. So I think that's kind of interesting. If we kind of break outside of those, let's see how the market reacts because we could actually kind of trend either direction, especially if there's an outsized catalyst. But for the time being, I think we stay within this range. And then if we're kind of extending out to the longer picture or the longer term picture, this is really what we talked about last week. The fact that we got the opportunity to put this trade on again, to me, is very fascinating. But basically, if we look at the risk reversal, the
Yep.
risk reversal for Bitcoin options, especially the long dated stuff, is pretty much priced at very bearish levels that we haven't seen. Let me get rid of the short dated stuff just because they're noisy. But since we haven't really seen since you know FTX crisis level area, we didn't quite get that bad, but we're kind of getting that bad. So these are kind of interesting trades now for upside optionality, especially when we see commodity markets can flip on a dime. And we've seen it now. We've seen it with gold. We've seen it with silver. We've seen it with platinum. We've seen it with oil. Just crazy upside. Vol explodes. Spot vol correlation goes extremely positive. So, you know, why would I not want some optionality in case that happens to crypto?
Right. Right. And basically, and we covered this last week with that risk reversal, basically that 30-day expiration wings at the money ratio chart that you mentioned. It's in that we're in that like extreme phase. Like it's sort of at levels that we haven't seen since the FTX crisis and COVID
Mhm.
really. And then when you contextualize it with what's going on in the broader commodity markets, what we've seen in metals, precious metals, and then obviously oil now, you're saying that upside could explode there, and maybe that risk reversal is priced pretty well to take a shot on.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Now would be the time to put that on. So let's just say you buy the risk reversal and you have that upside volatility exposure plus the upside delta exposure. Now, how do you hedge that? And I think one of the things that's very interesting, and I talked about this in the newsletter, is if you go to these 2x and 3x ETFs. So if we look at IBIT and we compare that to say, and this is trading view over here. So let me just compare BITX. Let's go on this all chart. Let's change this to daily candles. Okay. So what is going on here? So we can see both of these assets essentially start at the zero line. This is back in, can't see the date here. Excuse me one second. Let me just move this real quick. Back in January 2024. Okay, we can see it down here, January 2024. And then we kind of crash down, rally, and the blue line is BitX, the candlestick chart is IBIT. And
Right.
what we're really seeing here is that the tracking error, which means that you know BitX does 2 times IBIT, but if BitX drops, it always drops from a higher denominator. than if it rallies back from a lower denominator. So if you take this old Wall Street adage, your stock goes down 50%, it needs to rally 100% to get back to break even. Well, that's the effect of the higher denominator versus the lower denominator when we're talking about percentage terms. And so what's really interesting is if we go back to the implied vol market, what we're seeing here is that downside volatility is being implied to be higher than upside volatility. And so if you're short something like BITX, that underperformance gets magnified by having more downside volatility and less upside volatility. So the realized moments versus the implied moments affect this type of asset, this 2x asset, a lot more than they would IBIT itself. And so my thinking is, okay, IBIT optionality to the upside is very cheap. I can buy that. And then if I want to hedge that option position, I could sell one of these 2x ETFs. And then if we actually do get like downside crash risk that out magnifies the upside rally, the short BitX position will outperform just being short IBIT. And if we flip the other way, then I got the optionality to the upside pretty cheap. And now hopefully the skew reverses to the upside, vol expands as prices move up, and so on and so forth. And so it's a nice kind of hedge booked in terms of the risk reversal play here.
Yeah, I got that. I love that because that adds like more of a sophisticated element to the risk reversal trade that we were talking about last week and that we have on here. And to your point, it kind of hedges that book so you don't lose. You can take the shot on the cheap upside because we are seeing a lot more premium to the downside, like you showed on the previous chart. But BitX allows you to hedge that by getting short it, so that because of that, like you said, that tracking error, right? So
Yep.
if the bottom does fall out, we're hedged on BitX. But if we get that, rally to the upside, the optionality from that risk reversal outweighs the gain in BitX, kind of, or is that basically it?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And so if we get chop right here, BitX will kind of go down, it'll grind down, and then your net short exposure kind of dwindles. And if you kind of get that spike later, then you've kind of covered along the way implicitly. Um, and then if you kind of just get a massive crash and BitX theoretically just goes down a ton and kind of offsets your losses on the options. And if we go the other way, you'll still have the same type of delta hedge, and you'll have the normal risk reversal dynamics that you would get from just being long the options, short IBIT.
Gotcha. And just to be clear, we're looking for that risk reversal on the IBIT, that upside risk reversal. We're looking at like the January 2028 strikes, right? We're looking pretty far out.
Yeah, I think far out is the most interesting. I mean, typically, if I'm not sure what strikes I want to do, I'll just do a strip. I'll do a
Okay.
year out. I'll do, 18 months, 24 months, um, 3 years. Just
Gotcha.
kind of
Okay. And
break
then
them.
on the BitX, you're just short it, right? You're not selling or buying a put. You're not using options. You're just
No.
short. Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to use options on the BitX for a few reasons. One, the vol surface is too expensive.
Right.
I think buying downside protection on the vol surface is overpriced and it's just going to cost you money. You're just going to lose money, even if you're right.
Okay.
So that's step one. The other aspect is that these 2x ETFs, the option markets are not liquid. And so if you ever need to get out, you're kind of getting scalped on a bid-ask spread. Three is that the borrow cost for shorting that asset isn't too expensive. So it's not one of these like hard to borrow strategies. It's an actual executable strategy. Um, and then you just stay liquid. So that's good.
Gotcha. Okay. Um, that sounds really interesting. I definitely want to continue monitoring that. Hopefully, you know, we can check in on this position next week, and maybe there will be another trade that pops up as well. Is there anything else you're seeing, or anything else you want to touch on before I let you go?
I just want to highlight this chart real quick because it's
Okay.
so unbelievable that you just need to like kind of I just need to talk through it.
Okay.
So let's just kind of look at okay, back to let me find my mouse here. So these things started trading on the 11th of January 2024. So
Okay.
that's basically 2 years and 2 months ago. So since then, IBIT is up 43.41%. BitX is down 38%. So the underlying asset is up 40%. And the tracking error not only has like underperformed, but is actually negative. And the more volatile the asset is, the more magnified this tracking error occurs. And again, benefits the short. It always benefits the short pretty much, unless you have a one-way trend line. But any chop and high volatility chop benefits the short. And so that's why this type of trade works pretty well.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. The chart speaks for itself. I don't think a lot of traders, at least maybe, traders on Tasty Trade or retail traders, I don't know that they understand deeply that those like 2x linked, inverse products. The tracking error is kind of the big thing, like you mentioned, especially on such a volatile asset as Bitcoin or IBIT. Um, I'm just curious, do you see a lot of people trading this BitX, or is this mainly been used as, like you said, like a kind of a hedging uh, product?
It's it's a little bit more fringe of a product. I think most
Okay.
people are concentrated in the major pairs,
Okay.
IBIT or the Fidelity FBTC,
Sure.
or some of the Ethereum or the Bitwise ETFs as well. These 2X ones, what's interesting about them is um, people trade them intraday, but if you kind of
Okay.
expand beyond intraday, that's when you really get the tracking error because you get a daily reset. Um, but the volume is just not it's not comparable. So in my mind, not a lot of people are doing this.
Okay. Well, I think it's a really interesting position. Obviously, the chart, like I said, is kind of shows that tracking error in real time, especially for the product like IBIT. Um, Definitely want to check back in next week and just see how this position's going. And yeah, man, Greg, it's great as always. Love your takes on the crypto options market. Not a lot of people dig as deep as you do, and I think it brings a lot to the table and gives a lot of insight into what's going on deeper than just crypto's up, crypto's down, or Bitcoin's up, Bitcoin's down. So we'll have you back on next week. We'll see what happens, right? There's a lot going on, and we could be back down at 60, we could be back up at 75, but um, we're positioned pretty well here based on this trade. So yeah, man, great to have you in. Insightful as always. We'll catch you next week. Appreciate it.